There's something about grandparents. Something quiet. Something gentle. Something we don't fully understand until one day we do. This is a story, not just about one man, but about a life that feels familiar, like it belongs to all of us. He wasn't always Grandpa. Once he was just a boy, small, curious, full of dreams, standing in a world that didn't give him much to begin with. He grew up in a place where life wasn't easy, where comfort was rare, and struggle was normal. There were no luxuries, no shortcuts, just long days and even longer nights. As a child, he learned things most kids never have to. He learned what it means to go without, what it means to stay strong even when everything feels heavy. While others played, he worked. While others dreamed freely, he learned responsibility. And somehow, even with so little, he carried a quiet strength inside him. Life didn't slow down for him as he grew older. In fact, it only got harder. The responsibilities became bigger, the expectations heavier. There were moments when he could have given up, moments when it would have been easier to stop trying, to stop fighting, to just accept things as they were. But he didn't. He kept going. Not because it was easy, but because something inside him refused to quit. Maybe it was hope. Maybe it was love. Or maybe it was a promise he made to himself that one day life would be different. And then, somewhere along the way, he found love. It didn't come with perfection. It didn't come with ease. But it came with something real. Someone who saw him, not for what he had, but for who he was. Together, they built a life. Not a perfect one, but a meaningful one. A life made of effort, sacrifice, and moments that slowly turned into memories. Days turned into years, and years into a lifetime of work, care, and quiet determination. Then came the day his life changed again. He became a father, and suddenly everything he had ever been through made sense. Because now it wasn't just about him anymore, it was about them. He worked harder than ever before. He gave everything he had, and sometimes even more than that. He didn't always say how he felt. He didn't always express love in words, but it was there, in everything he did. In the long hours, in the tired eyes, in the sacrifices no one ever saw. Because for him, love wasn't something you said, it was something you showed. Years passed quietly, almost too quickly. The strong young man slowly became older. His hair turned gray, his steps became slower, his hands a little weaker, but his heart stayed the same, warm, gentle, full of love. And then, one day, we came into his life, his grandchildren. To us, he wasn't someone who struggled. He wasn't someone who carried burdens. He was just Grandpa, the one who smiled at everything we did, the one who made simple moments feel special, the one who told stories, even when his voice was soft and tired. We didn't see the years behind him. We didn't see the pain or the sacrifices. We only saw the love. And maybe that's the most beautiful thing about grandparents. They carry a lifetime of hardship, but they give us nothing but warmth. We laughed with him, sat beside him, listened to stories we didn't realize we'd miss one day. Because at that time, it felt like he would always be there, like time would never take him away. But time has its own plans. Slowly, things began to change. His voice became quieter, his movements slower. The man who once carried everything now needed support himself. And still, even then, he never complained. He just smiled, a quiet, gentle smile, like he always did.
There was so many things we didn't notice back then. We didn't notice how tired he was, how much his body must have hurt, how many battles he had already fought, long before we even knew him. We didn't realize that every wrinkle had a story, every silence a memory. We thought we had time to sit with him longer, time to listen more carefully, time to say all the things we never said. But life doesn't always give us that time. And then, one day, everything changed. The house felt different, quieter. The chair he used to sit on was empty. The voice we were so used to hearing was gone. And suddenly, all the little moments came rushing back. The stories, the smiles, the simple times we didn't think twice about. Now, they meant everything. We wished for one more conversation, one more laugh, one more moment sitting beside him. But some moments, once gone, don't come back. And that's when it truly hits you. That the people who gave us the most often asked for the least. That the love we grew up around was built on sacrifices we never fully understood. If your grandpa is still with you, sit with him. Listen to him. Even if you've heard his stories before, listen again. Because one day, those stories will become memories, and memories will become everything. And if he's no longer here, just know this: he may be gone from sight, but not from your life. Because everything he worked for, everything he built, everything he loved, lives on. In you, in your family, in the way you care, the way you love, the way you remember. Because people like him don't truly leave. They stay in quiet ways, in old stories, in familiar habits, in the warmth you feel when you think about them. And maybe that's what love really is. Not something that ends, but something that stays, even when everything else changes. So tonight, or whenever you hear this, take a moment. Think about him. The man who once had nothing, but still gave everything. And if you can, say the things you've been holding back. Because sometimes, the simplest words mean the most. And sometimes, we realize their value just a little too late.